Hello everyone, I'm Christine Mackenzie and I'm the president of IFLA, and I'm really pleased to be here to talk to my Russian library colleagues.
Christine, thank you very much for your time. And could you please tell us your vision of the new library? What kind of library you see?
I think probably if I can talk about it in a very concrete way, one of the libraries I've seen recently is in Tilburg in the Netherlands, which is a converted railway factory. So they used to renovate all the steam engines there, and this building sat empty for a long time in the centre of the city, and now it's converted to a library. And it is just wonderful, and I think it embodies all the best of what a modern public library is. So it's got, first of all, lots of books. It has a whole street of books. It's got a lot of fantastic programs. It's got special labs for doing the science technology things. It's got meeting rooms where people can meet and for their book clubs and to meet other people. It's got a wonderful cafe. It's got meeting rooms. It's just a really lovely library, and I think it's so good to see how libraries are evolving and changing, and how proud the city is of this library that they're using every day.
And taking this modernization into account, what kind of competences should the librarian have?
Well, all sorts of different competencies. It seems that there's so many different roles to be played in a library now. There's managing the collection, there's managing the circulation, there's running programs, there's running events, there's doing children's projects and children's story times. So there's literacy programs for adults, so many things happening. But another thing is that librarians don't have to do it all themselves, that they can form partnerships with other organisations and get them to come in the library and run programs and do things. So the libraries don't have to do it all themselves, they just have to find good partners to do things.
Yeah, that's true. And what kind of education is in your country for the librarians?
Well, there are library schools. For public librarians, most of them would do their courses by distance education. So there's 2 or 3 universities that provide distance education for librarianship. And then there's others, more specialised, I suppose, libraries and archives courses, but they're probably more information management. But yeah, so there's a mixture of face-to-face and distance education.
Are they long-term courses?
Well, they're bachelor degrees and graduate diplomas, and then masters and then PhDs. So.
Is it mandatory to pass these courses to be a librarian, or?
Well, to be a librarian you have to do. So if you want to call yourself a librarian and be accredited by the Library Association, you need to have done one of the approved courses. Yes, but it's not mandatory to be a librarian to be employed in a library.
Oh, and are there any exams which all librarians should pass during some periods, or no?
You mean after they've done their course? No, there is a continuing professional development program that ALIA, the Australian Library Association, runs, but it's not mandatory. But a lot of people do choose to do it, and then they can put after their name special letters to say that they've done this. So, and I know that in New Zealand it's similar. They've got a program there for continuing professional development. Yep.
And could you please tell us a little bit more about some new services which the libraries provide in your country, or you recommend to provide?
Yeah, youth services. Well, I guess there's always the programs around technology and 3D printing and coding and all those things. Gaming, they like to come in and use the games. It often is that it's the younger children in Australia that do that rather than the teenagers. So I guess it's always interesting to provide those services for teenagers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And but if it's a cool place to hang out, they'll come. So there's some libraries that are very cool to be in, and that's the places that they like to be. Yeah.
Coming back to the teenagers and so on, what shall we do to, involve more younger professionals to the libraries? And do you have the problem with the young professionals?
I guess, yeah. There seems to be a lot of young librarians in our libraries now, and I think we're seeing the generational change. So people my age are retiring, and so the younger ones are coming in, and it's great to see.
So there is no problem with that?
No, not a bit. I don't think there's a big problem, no. There seems to be plenty of jobs in libraries, and the people that they attract, young, keen, bright people, so it's really fantastic to see that.
How do you think, how can we improve the image of the library and make it more visible in our society?
Libraries or librarians?
Libraries.
Libraries. Well, I think if we all created Tilburgs, we wouldn't have any trouble. I think it's mad. I mean, I saw libraries in Russia that people love to be in, and the International Library, where people came in with that all-night program you have, yeah. And then they were going into all the libraries, weren't they? And so having those sort of programs that draw people in, and then once they're there, they see things.
So your advice is to make more interesting programs.
Yes, and we say in Australia, activate the spaces, so to make sure there's things happening. Yes, and then that draws people in. Yeah.
Why I'm asking, because if we talk about the small libraries outside Moscow, and even in Moscow, but the small ones, not all of them are so popular actually, and sometimes we face with a situation when the head of the municipality said that no, I don't need to invest in the library. Why is it needed? Because everything is on the internet. So now we are trying to help our libraries with our project to change and involve more financing from the government.
Well, it's really creating community spaces, so creating places that people, all ages, anyone can come in. It's a safe place, it's a nice place to be. People seem to like to be in rooms with books, they like that. But you don't want quiet places where you can't talk, or you need to have lively places where people think it's fun to be as well. Yeah.
How do you think, should we rate somehow the library and to understand whether they do good or not, and if we should rate, how should we rate?
Oh, that's a good question. Measuring impact.
Yeah.
So they write books about it. It's different libraries do it in different ways. I mean, you can start at a really basic level about how many people are coming in, how many people go to the story time, how many books you've circulated, and then you kind of get up a bit and you think, well, measuring impact is hard. There's no doubt about it, but then you can start looking at what outcomes are you achieving, and so you can use surveys to actually sit down and ask people, after bringing your baby to baby story time, are you now reading more at home? And you just ask them those sort of questions, and then you can build up knowledge around that. So I guess it's kind of just thinking through, well, what do you want to achieve? So what's the outcome you want, and then how can we measure it? And there's a lot of different ways of doing that. As I said, just quantitatively by just numbers, by surveys, or by focus groups. I don't know, do you have focus groups in Russia where you can gather a sort of a cohort of people that have different ideas and come from different backgrounds and just interview them about? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And also we have one favor. Could you please make a wish to the librarians of Russia who would like to modernize their libraries and participate in the project? Some wish or advice or recommendation from your side?
Well, I think my recommendation would be let's work together. So work together with your colleagues, learn from other people, work together with other organisations in your community, the schools, do you have places where mothers take new babies to look after them? And
kindergartens?
No, yeah, that sort of thing. Retirement homes, shops. There's just get out in the community and promote libraries, because we all know how great they can be, and work together to make libraries great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.